So, hello everyone. We're going to try and keep this sensible. We're going to try and keep an eye on both sides. Whoa, I'm getting some reverb there. Has someone got their phone on?
Well, do you know the thing with iPhones is you can't ever completely turn the volume off, is what I've noticed. It's at like 1%. Maybe that's why I've moved it away from me. Still happening?
Okay. I think I'm definitely getting myself coming back. What the hell is going on? Sorry, guys.
That's cool.
Test.
Technical difficulties. That's cool.
Okay, let's try now. Can you hear us? Circles? Yeah, total echo. Can you hear us, Circle? Oh, what the hell is going on?
I didn't hear my echo, so that's something at least. Nope, there it is.
Huh.
The hell is going on? Oh, wait a sec.
You figured out?
Okay. That was so
We did
me.
I was totally ready to hear it was me. It was perfectly possible it was me.
No. 100% me. Totally my error. So, yeah, just to say what went on there, I was just getting the Twitch stream up. So anyone can join the Twitch stream. If you just search for Mr. Yellow 1899, we're live on Twitch now, and you can actually make the cat do stuff. We're live on Twitter as well, so you can just go to my profile. That should be live right now. We're on YouTube as well, but at the moment, we don't have YouTube integration. So, here we go. We're running it with spaces as well. Welcome circles in the spaces. Here on the stream, we've got Susan, myself, and King Off. And we've all got our cats on display on the stream. And anyone wants to ask any questions, come up in the space, go on Twitch, ask some questions. As they come up, we can bring them up on screen. You can actually make the cats do anything, but we're going to do an AMA today. So we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's already there, and we're going to talk about some alpha, and we're going to take any questions as well. So Susan, do you want to take over? I'll try and release most of the things, but yeah.
It's surprisingly complex, isn't it? This multi-stream thing. I'm gonna wrap my head around it one day.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too old to wrap my head around it. Maybe I should just accept that. But yeah. Hey, GM, everybody. We are live. We've got our cats. Ooh. Are we all still here, or just focused in on me? I don't know.
Yeah. I just
okay. All right. Cool. All right, we're here. We're live, and I just pinned to the top of the channel the Twitch space for Yell. I just want to thank everyone for coming. Yell, I wanted to thank you for setting this up. And yeah, God, it feels like months have gone by, and it's only been a week. But here we are. And I got lots of stuff that I wanted to chat about that I kind of hinted at today. You were also saying, yeah, we should like share screen or something, right, on Petaverse to talk about everything that's live first. Should we do that?
Yeah, I think most of the people in the Twitter space are community members, and they might have heard it before. But if anyone's new, it's probably worth talking about what we got right now and showing a bit of it, and then getting into the amazing stuff that's, plates are spinning and things are happening in the background. So yeah, it's probably worth going through that. And King Arth, mate, help me out with the co-host in here. I'll try and keep an eye on Twitter. And just jump in whenever, mate. Oh, he's making my
Yeah,
cat.
love that cat. Yeah, we got some more animations coming too. So yeah, if you go to petaverse.com, I think most of the folks around right now know, but we're recording this, so if people listen afterwards, there's 4 things that you can do with your pet right now in the lead up to the game launch. So basically, this is like feature testing, and so I hope that everyone's actively checking this stuff out because there's so many fun things to do. There's the Memetron, which is what we launched with, and which is live on Apple and Android, and even on web, right in petaverse.com. If you haven't noticed it, you can do it right there. And that's to create shareable content with your pet in AR. If you don't know this, you can actually go to petaverse.com and associate your email address with your MetaMask account, which means you don't have to go through that horrible MetaMask login thing on your phone. It means you can just log in with your email address, your Google or your Apple login, which is cool. Not everyone knows you can do that. VR is live. If you got a Quest 2 and you haven't told us you have a Quest 2 and you want access, you can play with your kitty on your Quest 2, which is a lot of fun in your VR space. I'm pretty sure it works on the Quest as well. It'll work best on the Quest 2. And then on top of that, we've got Petaverse Live, which is what you're watching now. So loads of stuff going on with Petaverse Live. We're about to update our webpage with the light version, which is what I'm using, by the way. Petaverse Live Lite could not be easier. You can share it with your friends. It is simply an installer that lets you bring your cat straight with you onto any of your video calls. It's like Discord, Telegram, Google Meet, Zoom, wherever the hell you want to take your cat. You don't have to have a cat to do it. You can use Peppa. You don't even have to log in if you just want to use Peppa. And so it's super fun, super easy. Anybody could use it. And then there's the pro version, which is what Yell's doing, which means on your Twitch stream that everyone can interact with it. So right now, if you are in Twitch and you type !wave, it'll make Yell's cat wave. You can get them to dance. There's all sorts of prompts. And we should actually get those listed on the Petaverse Live website for people who don't know. They're fairly self-explanatory. ! Dance, ! Wave, exclamation point sign, and what you want to say. Last time we did this, we shared a bunch of them. I don't have the hands because I'm not prepared. Mac version of Lite is about to release as well. So, and then on top of all of that, Petaverse Tales, which was us, and this is an interesting segue, was us beginning to dabble in AI. And we now have 70 stories live in Petaverse Live in 6 genres. There's a second part to sci-fi now as well. And so this means you'll go into browser and it's your cat and you get to go on an adventure together and play like a multiple choice choose your own adventure. So all of that's live now. And I think it's easy to forget how much is going on right now. The team is working hard and fast.
Yeah, so Petaverse Lite, for those that don't understand, is just a really easy way of getting your cat on your virtual camera without any hassle. And with the Petaverse Live, you can do stuff like King Arth is doing there with placing your cat nicely, making these scenes on OBS and all of that sort of stuff, which is fantastic. I think streamers are gonna love this.
Yeah, I have to agree, bro. Like honestly, it's obviously right now it's with OBS, but I like the idea of like the light option, which I didn't know even you guys are working on. But that like opening that up to anybody using it for anything, like whether it's Discord, Zoom calls and stuff, like that's super bullish. Because right now it is like you have to set it up like through OBS or through another streaming software. But that opening up for anyone, I think is a huge deal. So that's awesome to hear.
Absolutely, and that's live now. If you go onto our Discord, you can grab that to download. The Mac version is what's coming next. So yeah, all this is available. So everybody should be having their cat with them on their Google meetings, whether or not you have one. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So features, but what's coming and coming fast. I don't want to say a date yet, but what's coming is the game, is Petaverse the game. And I've been starting to talk about this, and I've been talking about how you'll be able to bring your pet into the browser and be able to take care of your pet. or a richer app, which is like Nintendogs to play with your pet. But what I haven't started talking about yet, or I started hinting about today, is one of the things that all digital pet experiences have had in common up until now is that your pet only exists when you sort of interact with it. So if you're playing Nintendogs, right, and you put it away for the night, nothing happens. Your pet is gone dormant until you come back. And so it's not really like a pet, right? It's a pet as long as you're engaging with it. And so you have all the sort of control in that situation. What we want to do now, and what we have done, and what we built, is pet autonomy in a sense. And that means your pet's having a life of its own. And we think this is super important, that your pet is existing and doing its thing. And you can call it back to you whenever you want to. But when you're not calling it back, your pet's living its life, right? And we're pretty excited about that. And so it means a whole bunch of things that I only wanted to start talking about tonight. But it means, for example, when you go to check in on your pet, you can not only find out that your pet's hungry, but you can find out why your pet's hungry. Like Toon said this and totally got it immediately on Twitter today. Like if your cat's all messed up and filthy, you should know why. And so you'll be able to know why. And in fact, your pet's going to essentially have a journal of everything it's doing. And so you'll be able to come in and see exactly what your pet has been up to in your absence, and take care of it. And so it's not sentient, obviously, but it's giving you this notion that there's this digital presence out there that's doing these things. And it opens up all sorts of possibilities, because your pet's I've talked before about memories, and your pet having memories in its metadata of what it's been doing. Your pet being able to send you gifts. You know, I think most of you probably play Pokemon Go, and the sort of charming nature of like having postcards, sent from your friends. Your pet's going to be able to, engage with you and send you stuff, which I think is really cool too. So that's a big part of what's going to like knit everything together. Is coming to Petaverse.com is where you check in with your pet and find out what your pet's been up to. What do you guys think? That's a big part of what we built.
Honestly, I love it, man. Like Nintendogs, I actually played a lot of, admittedly, like when that came out. So like the idea of like a futuristic version is just like super lit, and like bringing that into NFTs, I think makes so much sense as far as just like gaming, right? Like this is it is a game. Like you guys have like an AR filter, you could play with it and all that other stuff. And I've shown this to people outside of like the Web3 ecosphere, right? And like they all love it. And it's like it brings something real to like IRL, where you can like show somebody like, hey, this is the actual product that we have. Because a lot of these NFTs, you don't really have anything you can do with them. And the thing I like about this one is that I can literally like show people what I'm into, and like they like it, like they want to use it. And the fact that you guys are opening it up for anybody, I think is really bullish, because a lot of NFT companies in general, they'll keep even like game tests and everything within a community, or it's token gated, but anybody can use this with the base model pets, right? So like you can all use a cat. Anybody can use this filter. Anybody can check out what you guys are building. So I really do respect that a lot. There's a lot, like I said, a lot of these even games that might have a beta, it's between a very small group of people and they don't like open it up. But the fact that anybody can check these out, like I do think that this has a place outside of our Twitter sphere and Web3 drama days. Like this is just something fun. So it's definitely something I plan on using, and it's interactive for streamers and anybody who wants to use something like this with their audience, which is really cool.
And
I
it's one of
appreciate it.
those
No, you totally get it, Arf. I mean, that is exactly what it's about. And this has been a big learning for us in evolution. I've been in games for 25 years. I've only been in Web3 for like 2.5 years, which I guess is a long time in some ways. But watching the evolution of the space, watching all the problems right now, watching how people are kind of vanishing and we're not getting new folks in, has really made us think hard about when the Web3 transition happens, how it happens, and how we can educate people. My favorite quote at the moment of my own is that it's better to lead people to water than to drown them in it. And right now, there's a lot of people who feel like they've been drowned in being told that NFTs matter, and they don't get it. They just see the scams. And so a big part of this is education, and realizing that someone can have a Web 2 experience with a pet, and that doesn't stop them from ultimately upgrading that to a Web 3 experience. But we gotta, it's the onus is on us now to prove to people that it matters. And I remain, as committed as ever to the idea that an immortal digital pet should be everyone's, goal for this. But I think it's going to take some time to get over that hurdle. And I think we got to earn people's trust first by giving them a fun experience. And then Web3 is supposed to be about empowering consumers, right? The ultimate power is to say it's up to you when you want to do it. Like, you decide when you're ready, blockchain's there for you.
Exactly. I love the portability of it as well. The fact that you're not tying this to a chain or anything like that. It's the utility. But I agree with King Arth. You talk about the product. Most NFT projects are absolutely embarrassing to try and explain to Web2. To actually say, I bought this JPEG of which I have some dubious IP rights, which I'm never going to use probably, and nobody's ever going to want. Versus this, where you can go, well, there's a game there. We're part of the beta testers. By being inside, we're seeing these products develop. We're able to talk to you about it, as they come together. It's like you ironically have grown a great crew. And I love the line as well. You're the anti-rug. Reverse rug.
Yeah.
We're just knocking out product until people wake up to it.
True. And it's like proof of work is huge for me, right? Like, and this is like literally, you could just show people your product and then like, okay, cool. Like, how do I get involved? And it's like, okay, well, from day one, you were able to use everything. So like, that's the thing that I respect is a lot of these projects will like essentially use this as like a seed round where they come into Web3 and they get whatever they want. And then they put out the product after. But like day one, like you buy a cat, you could use all these features, and like you guys are just upgrading it constantly. So that's something that I look for in teams in general. Like what are they building and what can I see? And like clearly you guys had utility day one. So that's undeniable.
It was the best fun to send off the cat and spend 10 minutes going, oh, so go here and you can do this. Now get OBS and you can do this. Now go to this bit and you can do this. And he's like, all this shit is here.
Yeah. Or just get on your phone and play with it too, by the way. Like you don't have to even do all this. Like from like a consumer perspective, like you can have a virtual pet that's tied to an NFT on the blockchain right now. So like that alone is bullish, but like for creators as well, like the things that you guys are building are like letting us use them for stuff like our stream and etc. And like I'm a cat guy, right? So it honestly makes sense anyway. Like I've had cats my whole life. So the second I found out you could like use it as like an interactive tool, that was something where I was like, okay, like this is really bullish for like not only consumers, but also content creators. And like I could definitely see legs with this for sure. And like you guys are building out more and more and more stuff. So that's like, if that's not utility for creators, then I don't know what is. Honestly, it's great.
It's one of the things that you're going to see coming together, now as the game comes and the sort of, I guess you'd call them quests to keep your pet, happy and comfortable and fed and so forth, is you'll be able to spend them on accessories like the glasses that my cat's got on me. And then you'll be able to bring that with you onto your stream. So when you think about like brands like who are all trying to get into the metaverse now, sneaker companies like Nike, Adidas and everything, fashion brands and stuff, it's an opportunity for them to immediately get that stuff out onto streams on top of the characters. So there's so many cool things that we're in discussions with brands about doing because it's just
I've just got to say, I love the subtle alpha drop there. I mean, look at Susan's cat.
Right? I need some sunglasses, bro.
We're gonna be adding the ability to add them on. For now, my engineer cheated and put it's only on one of my cats. It's only on my black cat. But so that's pretty cool too. I'm pretty excited about that. But the big thing is, like to what you were saying, is we don't want people to have to go and find stuff. We want to just make it super simple. So that's a big reason for this game experience coming, is we want someone to get their NFT and then be able to immediately get it in. And so OG Kennel Club That's a big part of it. That is when the push is going to be, is around the game. Like right now, it's just for the average mainstream user, it's too hard. And it was never the expectation that people would try to go find this stuff. We need to make it very clear in one place, and we need the call to action of being able to build a Web 2 pet that you can use and you can upgrade as an NFT. And so that's all coming this fall.
Sorry to cut around you there,
Yeah.
but just for those only hearing the audio, OG Kennel Club asked the question, what do you think will start bringing in more audiences and when? Because obviously
so
not everyone's looking at the stream.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. So it's,
No, don't worry.
It's that game coming in and the ability to come in to be able to adopt a pet, I mean in a Web 2 sense, and customize it and be able to bring it into these experiences. Ultimately, that's where the mass market is. And they're gonna have to subscribe and they're gonna have to pay for stuff that OG Ethereum holders won't have to. But they're gonna have the opportunity to play and learn and hopefully start their Web3 journey from there as well and immortalize that pet. But having that gameplay loop, like, look, we're game developers when it comes down to it. And in many ways, this evolution is really comfortable to me because I've been playing video games for a couple decades. So we understand that part of things. And it's very easy for us to say, okay, we need a loop. We need that core loop in place. I come in, I check on my pet has needs, I fulfill those needs, I earn coins, and I can spend them on stuff for my pet and my pet space and so forth. So that coming in is going to be a big part of it. We're in discussions for a variety of brand deals as well, so that brands can be a part of that journey of coming in and being able to build something. So I'm very bullish for this fall and what's coming. Right now we are just in build like crazy mode. I've lost track. We have about 10 engineers on staff. Everybody is building content right now for that gameplay experience. And so it's all right. Here, let me frame it in something that everyone in Web3 understands is Dookie Dash, right? I've said this straight to Garga. I thought Dookie Dash was really smart because it was something that you could deliver really quickly and nail, in a way that, a big metaverse game is going to take years, to come. And so I thought that was really cool. What I thought it was missing was the fact that it had really no relationship with your unique NFT. Like, it should be your ape in Dookie Dash. It shouldn't just be a generic ape. And so what we're about to launch is that times X. There'll be at least 20 of those games, hyper casual game experiences, but it's your pet in those experiences. So, anything from dash games to jumping, to Fruit Ninja style gameplay, to Frogger, to Space Invaders, all sorts of types of games the team is building. But the thing is, it's your pet in those experiences, and that's how you're fulfilling your pet's needs. And so it all starts to make sense and gel together.
I guess as well, then all the rewards come into this global swag bag. Whatever those are in whatever way,
You'll be able to spend your point. I don't want to call them, I hate calling them coins because that sounds like a token to me. You're earning points, points, quest points, right? For fulfilling your pet's needs. And you'll be able to use them to unlock stuff. And there'll be special things that will only be for those who are part of the Ethereum community. So we can do all sorts of things to make everyone feel, rewarded for being a part of the earliest, bit of this journey with us. So that's a big part of this. There's also going to be experience points. You'll be able to customize your pet in the future with certain things. Like, imagine being able to choose between different animations. We don't want to make it complicated like Diablo leveling, but we want to have the ability to customize your pet as your pet goes along, just like the memories. And so the memories are going to get saved into the metadata, the memories of what your pet does with you. So all of this is just part of crafting your pet's character.
That's so cool. Because you like building, it's a reason to come back to it every day, isn't it? You're aware of Captain Kix's Cyber Stadium.
Yes.
It's quite a passive game. But I will go in every day and look at, did my gladiator win their battle? And what did they get? And has that improved them? And actually, that's real fun. Just like a 2-minute interlude of popping in and just going, oh, what did my cat do yesterday? Oh shit, I won these amazing sunglasses. Cool, I'm gonna put them on, or or maybe in the future I'm going to trade them or something.
Now imagine if your pet is off having adventures and your pet is hungry and you're not around. Your pet should be able to feed itself. So your
Oh,
pet
wow.
is going to have its pet version of a wallet, right? That it can use to fulfill its needs. It can buy itself food, so to speak. Because this is the fantasy world. Your pet can go on travels. Your pet can go to other parts of the world and have adventures and meet other cats, and tell you about the social life that your pet's having.
Yeah, I feel like this is a you question, Susan.
Love your cats. I'm curious about how the autonomy will change the standards to find a way we think about metadata. Will there be any correlation between the game and the metadata? That adds to it. I'm sorry, no one else is seeing this. Like, for example, your cat is never fed, always grumpy, and that adds to a trait or swaps to another existing trait that meets that type of behavior. Yes, your metadata is a big part of all of this. So what everyone might not know, I think a lot of you know, because I've talked about this in the past, we've created an open standard for metadata. And so whether your pet is Web 2 or Web 3, it has an underlying blueprint of its personality and behavior characteristics. The rarer your pet is, like for example, Yell's pet here, I think has like 7 characteristics. The less rare it is, the less characteristics get called out. It has morality, a D&D alignment. It has elemental abilities, has an inventory. I keep saying it. I hate calling a pet it. They have an inventory and all this information and their memories. And so all of this, yes, it's going to impact them. So, we're designing this stuff right now. Like, what happens if your pet is filthy and you haven't cleaned your pet? I love the idea that if you haven't been taking care of your pet and you bring it onto your Twitch stream, that there'd be like, flies around it that'd be filthy because, you haven't been taking care of your pet, and your audience should be able to clean your pet because they can trigger those animations. So the interweavings of how this all works are being designed right now.
And you're talking to Twitch, aren't you? You know the Twitch people.
We are, yeah. Yeah, we know the Twitch team, and they're pretty excited about what we built. They said they've never seen anything like this in the sense that you can interact with it. And we have so many ideas about how to push that even further. Like, we want the streamer to be able to, in the first instance, just customize when things are going to happen. One streamer we know asked us to disable the sign if they wanted to. So you'll see, I don't know if you noticed that you can disable the sign if you don't want people saying like, stupid, stuff or using profanity or whatever. So we're doing that. We can make it so that, a certain animation gets triggered from a certain audience activity, like subscribing, or some of the, the sort of simple things that we're doing. We want to add stuff like, if a bunch of people use the same emote, like /dance, exclamation dance, it should trigger a bigger dance animation. So sort of like a cumulative thing based on a bunch of people doing it is something that we're working on. And then also we're looking at how we can potentially have like buttons that the audience can press instead of actually having to type that. We've seen some stuff like that. So we're investigating whether there's a simpler interface so that you don't have to try to explain to everybody what the commands are.
Yeah, and you're also looking at hooking up YouTube.
Yes, I think that I saw that is in the works right now in our current sprint. So between that and testing, it shouldn't be that far off. And we have started talking to YouTube about that as well.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be difficult. I mean, it's there.
I started talking to Kick as well. I haven't gotten anywhere with them yet, and I don't know how much of an API Kick has, but I know people have asked us whether we're supporting Kick yet.
Yeah. I mean, they give creators a lot of the money at the moment, but yeah, I don't know with Kick. I don't know where they've got with API at all.
Yeah, do they not have one, Arf?
Can you imagine?
I have no idea, honestly. Like, I've been looking into so I was like a long-term like Twitch streamer back during COVID, right? Like, so I've been looking into like getting back into streaming soon. So like I'm actually gassed about Petaverse for that reason. Like, I'm definitely going to use Pepe, my cat, for sure for that reason. But Kick is interesting. I don't know much about it. Like, I know people are like flocking there because of like the money aspect of it, but I don't know. I'm thinking I probably might go all in on Twitch and might dabble a little bit on Kick for like some different types of streams, right? But I'm not sure. I think they do have like their API and stuff ready to go. I'm pretty sure. Like, as I know, a lot of big streamers have shifted over there already. So I would assume that they have those things in place, but I haven't personally messed with them. I'm more of like a Twitch maxi. I'm like, I got affiliated over here and all that other stuff. So that's probably where I'm going to be mainly building. But Kick, I think, is a good opportunity for more like adult streams and not worrying about TOS. Like if you want to do stuff there and just kind of like have like a adult swim type night, that'll be probably what I'll use it for, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Twitch have always been really good to us. Like we got involved with Twitch back when like 6-7 years ago when we were doing our Doctor Who project, and they were great to us. They used to feature our show, and so I like those guys.
Yeah, I've had good experiences with Twitch just throughout COVID and like getting affiliated with them, and like I was able to contact them even, and like I was never a big streamer. I had maybe like 20-30 people in their tops usually, but even with a small community, like Twitch was pretty good at like, you know, just being communicative at least, and like if I had any questions, they were able to help us out, you know.
Totally. Well, we were doing a mobile game, and this was like when they were trying to get mobile games on Twitch. So again, this is going back like some years, but what happened was there was a fan of our game who started doing a Twitch stream, and my partner and I showed up there. I think he had like 20 people in there, and he was really excited that, you know, the creators, you know, showed up. So we reached out to Twitch on his behalf to see if they could get him any exposure. They started featuring him. He immediately went up to like 1,000 people showing up a week. It was great, like, which is cool. I didn't need to do that, you know. It was a small stream at the time. But Arthur Rebel just asked about child digital safety. I love that you're asking that question. You're asking awesome questions. Yes. In fact, going back to what you said about Epic, he asked if they're focused on. We're talking about Lego and Epic Games and how they're focused on child digital safety and creating experiences, and wondering if they're concerned with Petaverse. So funny enough, Epic, you might not know, bought a company called Super Awesome. And Super Awesome is sort of the leading child safety, child protection middleware for to make sure that you're compliant with COPPA regulations and GDPR and so forth, which is just, it's a crazy, crazy world. Every country has like their own specifications about it and things that you have to do in terms of opting in and opting out and everything. So the short answer to that is we're integrating Super Awesome, which is Epic's product, so that we can be as safe as possible for kids across all of these experiences. That's something we're actually actively integrating right now.
Nice.
But yeah, but in terms of cool things, it's free. Like this used to be really expensive. Epic bought them and made it free, which you know, Epic gets a lot of crap for stuff. I thought it was a really awesome gesture to the game industry that they did something like that.
No, I agree. I think Epic's killing it. Like, and they have like the Nike, like everything they're doing right now. I'm definitely watching Epic Games. If you think Metaverse and all these other things, I think that there's a tie in there long term with what they've already built. Like I used to play Fortnite, and like when that was free, like that was honestly like it was a top tier game for free. Like it was a AAA game. You couldn't deny it whether you like it or not. And it was the game for like for a couple of years for like me and all my friends. So I think that they're going to bring a lot of focus into Web3 long term, honestly, like because they're Epic Games. They're free to play. That's what they're known for. And if some of these Web3 things start getting involved there, I think that it's going to be like a different landscape where gamers might start kind of adopting these, like, because it's a bad look from the outside. Like I'm in Web3 every day, and I'll admit that like my gamer friends and my regular Web2 friend, like it's hard to get them to understand this stuff. But with things like, you know, with Petaverse and like Nike jumping on to Epic Games, and like Nike has Web3 assets, so there's starting to be like a connection where even the friends that I have that aren't really into NFTs are starting to see these things. So I think it's really good fit for like Epic Games, for streamers, for all of these like people who are this close to getting it. Like I think that this could kind of like shift that completely. So yeah, I'm bullish as hell, just to say the least. But I think Epic Games is going to kill it, and I'm definitely going to have a cat on while I'm playing Epic Games with Metaverses attached. I'm calling that right now. So soon, hopefully.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. You know what? Tim Sweeney is such a smart guy. You know, he has been very, you know, sort of he I think he enjoyed going contrary to Steam and letting, you know, a Web3 game show up on the Epic Store. He sort of refused to embrace it, but I think it's because of the perception of it. Like the fundamentals of why Web3 is interesting to us are the same fundamentals as why the metaverse is interesting to Tim. You know, he talks all the time about interoperability and open standards and open source and how we can bring our things, you know, between worlds. And I totally believe that. And I think that ultimately he'll jump on board and understand, why blockchain can help in that effort. A big part of what we've built is fundamentals of interoperability in terms of being able to bring your stuff across chains. We've been there since the beginning. We've designed this so that your pet isn't confined to one blockchain. The ability to have your metadata be reinterpreted in different art styles. That's a huge part of interoperability, because every game looks different, and it's going to be a really boring world if every game has to start looking at the same art style. And he totally gets all that. And so I think that as we get more and more into talking about like that part of blockchain, as opposed to the speculative side of blockchain, I think we'll get really smart folks like Tim Sweeney excited about it. I hope so, anyway.
Yeah, and it's the same old story as well, isn't it? That we got to stop talking about blockchain.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no customer cares about blockchain particularly.
Yeah,
Nobody.
it needs to be seamless, right? There needs to be like, there's such a disconnect on like what's happening with blockchain, and like anybody who gets involved with this stuff, I always like to like explain to them on a base level what it is, but it needs to just be interoperability where you can just pop it in and it makes sense. So like, I think we're getting closer, but right now, obviously, like a lot of people, as soon as they hear NFT or blockchain, that's the end of the conversation, right? But I like stuff
Yes.
like this where you could just show them, and then like it's more of an afterthought. Like, here's the product, and now like after they like the product, then they could start to understand, okay, well, it's built on the blockchain. This is what that means. Like, I think that's the way that you
Yes.
onboard, right? Is by like proof of work,
Yes.
proof of product, and then okay, here's how it
Yeah.
works. Like,
Yes. And immortalizing, I one of the things that's really held up blockchain within games is the sort of immutability of NFTs. Originally, when you just have some, and that was part of the value, right? It was supposed to be this can never change; it's set in stone. But where it comes to games, you want them to be able to change, because that's what allows you to get emotionally invested in something or have it improve. And so I think with dynamic NFTs or with Web 2, Web 3 hybrids like what we're doing, it allows your pet to evolve, and that becomes something that you cherish and want to protect. And so if you said this to an MMO gamer, that this thing could be permanently yours, and usable everywhere, and usable in different art styles, and usable forever, and something your kids can inherit, that's compelling. But I think being able to customize something is a big part of that.
Definitely. I so agree. When you start dropping in the elements to customize this, that's just amazing. That's different level, because it's already compelling. I love my cats, and I'm not a cat person, and I literally love my cats. And then when I can sort of like level them up, for want of a better word, but just gain them experience and stuff like that, and pop in maybe once a day and, oh, what did you do? And yeah, there's been some amazing bits that have been dropped on your tweet earlier about just, oh, can I tell my cat to rest today so that I can have a more rested cat and send it on a big mission tomorrow? And just those little things, because people don't have all day to play games, but just, I don't want to be crass, but a kind of toilet game,
Yeah.
you got 5 minutes, you're going in the kitchen to make a cup of tea or whatever. You just like, oh, I just check. Oh, wow, I won that mission.
Mm-hmm.
Now what do I do? Do I rest, or do I go for this big thing, or maybe just something in between? It's just fun. It's
People love idle gameplay. It's because it's much more inclusive. You don't have to be a hardcore gamer. You don't have to have fast reflexes, or any of that. And that's why the sort of the games that you'll play with your cat to help fulfill your cat's needs are simple. It's like WarioWare level experiences where you come in, no one needs to tell you what to do. You can figure it out pretty quickly and play and have fun and keep replaying the things that you enjoy doing. And I think that that's really important, and accessible to a broader market, who can quickly pick it up.
Yeah, definitely. Quick room reset because I've been really shit at watching things. If you're in the Twitter
both. I
space,
keep looking over my shoulder.
if you're in the space and you want to talk, I'm so sorry. Please do request. You're more than welcome. If you want to jump on the stream, just DM any one of us and we can send you the link and you can jump on. But yeah, we got about 20 minutes left. So I wanted to like throw it open and say, hey, 20 minutes. People got questions, or Susan, you got some stuff you want to share that you haven't got out yet? Is there anything you're allowed to? I know you got a million things you could
This is the
share.
Give
problem.
us the
It's
sauce.
allowed.
We're asking for the
I'm the
sauce right now.
I'm the danger is the allowed to say. I am allowed to say, and then I have a feeling my team tomorrow is just they don't want to tell me things anymore. Like people keep stuff from me now because they know that I get excited and want to tell everyone about it. So I have to like now like snoop on the team to find out what's going on.
I've got a request. Let me just try and get Randall. I tried to get him before, but hopefully he's coming up to the Twitter space right now. Although yes, Randall, mate, go for it.
What's going on, everyone?
How you doing?
Exciting.
Hey, Randall.
Hey, Susan. What's going on, Arf? Yeah, so
Arf.
I actually was the guy messaging on Twitch because I was like, no one's answering my request, so I thought I'd just go over there and message you all. Love the responses.
We're figuring it out, Randall. You know.
It's all my
No, it's all
fault.
good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Enjoyed the conversation so far. Thank you, Susan, for answering the questions, and I'm glad that Petaverse is aligned quite well with like the narrative of what gaming is doing at the moment, or at least what that side of development is doing in this space, or in how it's influencing the space. I did have a question though, more relative to I guess what the brand would be doing. I guess the company would be doing separate to rewarding not rewarding, I should say, giving access to more features for holders. Is how's the campaigning around Petaverse for rest of market or rest of world going to look like, and is there something that holders can contribute to outside of just engaging on social media? Like, is there plans for that? Is there any way that we as the community can also assist with that? I mean, by assist, simply like being part of that campaign, not so much just a temporary marketing promotion.
Yeah, it's an awesome question. Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, our OG community will be the first to have access, to everything, including, being able to be the first to access the game, in and of itself, because we want to hear what people think. And we have a bunch of ideas around that. One of them is this notion of letting people doing scholarships, for the uncommon vouchers, which is something we can do now. And it's on me to finally need to like dig in and have a plan for that, because we're able to do it now. We just have to get like a process together for how we're going to do that. But also, things like breeding. That's something that we've been actively building, is how we're going to think about breeding and how we can tie that into our OG community, so that we can broaden, the folks who have access to the Ethereum pets. So all that stuff are things that we're thinking about and open ideas about as well, Randall.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Sorry, Yel, go ahead.
I was just going to say, though, in terms of like what can you do, simple stuff goes well. It's just reshare the tweets and share your cats and, use the memetron and stuff like that. Let's be visible, because this is a hell of a product we've been lucky enough to get in on early. And it's weird the way the market doesn't value, but that's to our luck, and let's sort of share it, because these guys are building, there's no question. So sorry, mate. I didn't mean to cut across you, Randall, but yeah, just the simple stuff is definitely share everyone's stuff. Share the cats. If you see a cat, like it, comment, share your
Yeah,
own.
I agree, bro. And like on your point, it's like it's such an easy thing to share. Like it's most things feel shilly, but like this is literally a product that you can use and there's like content you can make with it, right? So like I obviously plan on using it, which means that there will be content made with this cat. Like it's not even about shilling a project at that point. It's about I'm a content creator. So like that's why I think it's like really bullish is that it's like more of an organic thing where like it's just a product. I love this cat. So you're going to see it. So, and like, I agree with Mr. Yellow completely. Anything you see that's made content wise, that's, I think, going to be a huge driver for marketing is just people using these things, enjoying it, like families using it. Like if your kids play with them, I would suggest taking videos of that. Like there's a lot of different aspects to this other than number go up, which like that's part of Web3 that like Mr. Yellow honestly is driving me insane during the last few months. It's been like just meme coin season. It's been like nothing but money talk. So like it's we're actually having like an art spaces here in a minute, but I'm really trying to focus in on other things that matter in Web3 and like we're here long term because of things like this, not because of number went up and everybody made money, which is also a good thing, but this is the long term in my book is like actual products, actual implementation and like seeing how Web3 can bleed into like regular world, right? So yeah, I'm bullish on that. And I'd say I agree. Just share everything. Like it's not shilling. You're just showing a dope product. So at the end of the day, there's nothing to feel weird about there, you know?
I appreciate you.
No.
And you know, Randall, look, Randall's awesome and always talks about us. But if anything, if anyone needs anything, talk to us about requests. If there are like animations that you really wish you had access to, like there, especially if you're seeing them in other aspects, like if you're seeing it in Memetron and you really wish that we had access to that in Petaverse Live, that your cat could do this certain thing, talk to us about it. That kind of stuff is really straightforward for the team to, you know, to keep people busy and engaged and excited. Like we want to hear it if there are requests that will make it easier for you to talk about and enjoy and play with, you know, your pet, then please, that's like the big stuff we want to hear about.
I just want to say the team don't produce any artwork at all, do they? I mean, for those on the stream, look behind Susan. You know, there's just insane amounts of cool stuff, posters and things like that. I mean, maybe we should, I don't know how that would work, but get some of those out there because I know you've done them at events and things like
I
that.
bring them at events. Maybe we'll do a giveaway if people want. We do have some collections of posters. We don't have a lot of them left, but we could do a giveaway for some posters for sure.
Yeah, it's super cool. Randall, mate, sorry. Go back to you.
No, not at all. Yeah, you guys pretty much covered a lot. I was thinking more, you know, I think in recent events, a lot of people, including like space hosts, you know, like Steve mentioned it, where we've come to the realization that marketing to this space is almost leaving you, you know, a step behind of everything else and really trying to be a bit more, I wouldn't say just user friendly, but giving the experience less friction, even just by sharing, is becoming prominent, right? And it's becoming important based on every other brand, like including Lego with Epic Games. Like they've had a lot of development for children being creators. They understand the space, they understand blockchain, but they also understand that you're not going to have people open up digital wallets and that's like minting NFTs. That whole experience doesn't work fully if they're not familiar with any of this, right? It's too much risk or too much of a frictionful experience rather than a frictionless experience. So that's the only reason why I asked the question. It wasn't so much to question the initiatives, right? I get how news is kind of shifted and what is actually being shared over Twitter, or at least crypto Twitter and NFT Twitter, and it's not so much innovation as it is drama. So that's understandable completely. But thank you all for answering.
And I don't know, Randall, I know you've sort of been quietish for a little bit, but I don't know whether you heard about there's a super low friction way coming for people to get cats where I think it's fair to say, Susan, they won't even know it's an NFT. That won't be
It won't even be an NFT until they want it to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. And And so that means, yeah, for a and this is so important. It's important to brands too, because there are a lot of, old school Web 2, big audience properties, who have millions of fans whose fans don't want them doing NFTs because they're, especially properties that appeal to kids. And so there's a lot of appeal to a strategy that allows people to dip their feet in before they go all the way. And so, and so that's very Web 2. That's having your Apple login, your Google login, no wallet involved, and then later deciding that you want to mint that, and then with a self custody wallet being the logical step. But I feel like it's on us to show people why, because I've had so many traditional game industry friends and stuff saying, what's the difference? Like, all of this has always been the way, trying to get people to understand what it means for something to, have the provenance of blockchain, to always be yours, to be useful 100 years from now, to take it outside of that walled garden. That's going to take education and proving it with actual content. And so that's the problem, is that in the Web3 world, we're willing to kind of take people's word for it and buy an NFT on the promise that someday it's going to matter more than a picture. But I think the mass market's not willing to do that because there have been so many bad players.
Yeah, of course. It's about the value of what they're getting based on the time they're purchasing it, not any future speculation of what it could be, right? I mean, that's always exciting and fun. In some industries or parts of the industries, you have that, like for me when I buy sneakers, but it's not necessarily the main reason. I'd still like to think that I could just wear it and not lose value of what I actually purchased in the first place.
Yeah. And that's the hope, is that I don't want the blockchain part of this to be about like when price go up. I want it to be about the fact that it's yours permanently. And and it may go up in value. It may hold its value. It could be any of these things, but none of that negates the fact that it's your permanent stuff. And my other favorite quote that I've said is that you buy a couch to sit on a couch. You don't buy it because of the resale value of it. The fact is, you can resell it if you get bored with it, and that's great. And why should our digital things be any different than that? We should have the ability to resell them. And so I think when we can start to get to that point, then it starts to feel less scary to like parents. Like I want my kid to own his stuff. He's 14. He plays Fortnite. He gets bored with the skins, and now they're stuck on Fortnite. And so I like the idea that all consumers, including kids, should have the power of their purchases.
And do you think, what do you think makes the big game companies embrace that interoperability? Because a lot of their business model at the moment is facilitated by precisely no interoperability, and like you spending.
I think it depends on the stuff. Look, I don't know if you're ever going to see specifically skins moving around. I think that because of things like art styles, because of the idea of trying to put it on someone else's model, there's lots of problems with that. And it's why it gets thrown around as being the reason interoperability is a myth. It's not. It's just that's a difficult use case. But on the other hand, taking a pet between worlds where the art style is flexible and where it's additive, it's not taking over the role of the character, it's just something that follows you around, that's a use case that makes sense. And I think there are lots of other use cases that make sense. Like, imagine, for example, if you own a specific Fortnite skin, or if you own enough of them and you go into another game, you get something because of that. And then it just becomes kind of like a proof of status. Like, I love the idea. I was at some event where this got talked, a blockchain event where this got talked about, that like, we played a lot of MMOs, like my partner and I. We played EverQuest, we played World of Warcraft and the AOC and all of that. And imagine if like you went into some future MMO, and because of blockchain, they knew that you had slain all the world bosses in that other game, and all these things about you, and you get instant invited into a guild because of that, or you get instant access to something, or you just get a sword, because whatever it is. Like, I love the proof of status aspect of blockchain, where you can immediately go in there and immediately be given some credibility because of what you've done before.
And it's about thinking differently, isn't it? It's, like you say, the skin stuff, can I take this gun from this game to another? Well, no, because they're just not going to match, and then maybe you've nerfed their whole balance, by bringing that. That's not necessarily the use case, but a digital pet coming with you. You could see that being adopted.
Yeah. Or a robot, or there's
Yeah.
there's all sorts of things. I think of companions in whatever sense you want to think of a companion as being stuff that makes sense, because I just feel like they can be complementary to an experience as opposed to breaking it.
Oh, for sure. I think we got about 4 minutes, and I know Arf's got a drop on.
Yeah,
another
my kid's on a big trip tomorrow, so I have to make sure to say goodnight to him. I'm not going to see him for a couple of days.
Yeah, so literally last chance for you in the Twitter space, and apologies if you have put your hand up because I've probably missed you. And but I
did see a question about 3D cat figurines or merch from OG Kennel Club. Yes, we are absolutely going to plan to do merchandise for sure. We've already created some, on a smaller scale that we've done for events. We've done slap bracelets, we've done posters, we've done t-shirts and jackets and things like that. But as far as for the community, yeah, and I do want to look at getting some sets of posters out. I think would be awesome.
You said figurines. You said like cat, little cat figurine merch.
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
printing here, so like my at some point we've done stuff like that, like around.
Oh, nice! It's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm selfishly asking because I would like a Pepe, my cat.
I've got some cool stuff. Like, look, this is my my partner made Gizmo, which I painted. So he does the.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah,
he has a 3D printing. I did the painting on it. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm excited. I would love to have a little cat figurine on my desk. Absolutely. There's a couple projects I'm in that are doing kind of similar things with physicals. So I think that's really cool.
That's absolutely something.
And people love them. Again, it's just building that bond even more, isn't it? So we're planning. We do these every week.
Yes.
Sometimes in Twitter. Sometimes Susan does stuff in the Discord, which is a little bit more on the QT. Don't tell anyone. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You're getting a bit of alpha here, but so. Unless there's any questions, should we?
Yeah, should we wrap it up for the night? We'll be back next week.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Thank you, Off. I love your setup. It makes me so jealous. I must say, it was a frigging pleasure to onboard him and just go. Oh, by the way, you don't have to log in on your phone. Just connect your Google account. Now you've connected.
Yes. That was the smoothest situation I've ever had, by the way, when connecting anything to anything Web3. I literally connected the wallet one time. And since then, anytime I need to connect to the site, whenever I need to use any of the tools, it's just my email. That's it. I'm super bullish on that.
That was the #1 most requested thing as soon as we launched. So we got in there as quickly as we could, especially because people have bought them for their kids. Like I know Make bought them for his 3 kids and wanted a way for them to get in without having to give them access to a MetaMask wallet. Understandable. So, well, cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. This is super fun, and looking forward to seeing everyone back here next week.
Yeah,
bye,
and
everybody.
I just wanted to throw an open invitation. If anyone wants to talk about creating content, I know me, Arf, Susan, any of us will happily jump and have a chat with you and
definitely
help you through the setup in whatever you want to do, because it is actually fun. And I can't wait to see more of these cats in the wild.
100%, yeah, and we love to highlight that stuff. If people want to create content, we'll share the hell out of whatever it is you're doing.
Let's go. Thank you, Susan.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Until next week.
Arf.
In the Discord, guys.
Bye all.